Hi guys, it's Bustaidud, and I'll be showcasing my thought process while I was creating my submission for segment 1 of Contest 18, and the title of this map is called Cosmos. So I thought it would be interesting to share my thought process because the map is very simple to recreate, and I haven't done something like this before, so I don't know. I thought it could just be very interesting, and I thought you guys would enjoy it as well. Okay, so the constraint of the contest, or the first constraint of the contest, is to not build or place any blocks on this area. And when I first saw this constraint, I was a bit underwhelmed because it's very simple, but oh well. So I thought of using this constraint to my advantage in terms of elevating the aesthetics. Since I can't place any blocks inside or near the mine, I might as well use it to emphasize negative space into my map or apply negative space into my map. And the first thing that came to my mind was to add, of course, circles. So I started off by doing this. But so this was my original circle. But the thing is it passes through the area, so I wasn't able to use that. So I tried again, and I got to this circle, which I think also looks pretty good and still looks like a decent circle. And of course I filled up the circle so that I would be able to do something with the structure. And my original idea was to make this area very open, make this area very tight, very hard to get into and out of, and then the rest of this area will be open. That was the idea of the map, and I know that it would cause like really bad gameplay issues in terms of spawn trapping, but I don't like really care much about gameplay. I just want the map to look cool and have a very like interesting concept. So I started placing the walls, and I wanted it to have like lots of pathways to get into and out of the circle. And the best way that I found was to do this. There. This has 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 pathways inside and outside the circle. So that was better instead of doing this. The thing with this is because there's a one tile gap here, so I could not use this version of the circle, so I resorted to using this instead. Okay, and to polish it up, I added circles inside the blocks, and I thought this looked really nice because the diamonds formed a circle, emphasizing the aesthetics more and really emphasizing the circle. And so this looks pretty cool, but it's kind of bland, right? So I thought of differentiating a part of the circle. I thought of maybe doing this, something like this, right? I mean, this is okay, but I thought that maybe I could use this version of mirroring, and this was the original version, and I really like this version because it still completed the circle. As you can see, it still completed the circle, and I really like that even though these are mushrooms, they still complete the circle. And that's about it. So this was the original version, and I needed to find or like find an idea to fill the backside of the map. I thought of adding smaller circles, but I don't know, they just didn't look right, or they didn't look good. And so the first idea that I had was to use the crates to form like a square, something like this, something like that. But I don't know, it just doesn't look good, right? Doesn't emphasize the this really nice crescent like moon structure. And I thought of maybe doing something like this, like have another circle, but I don't know, it just didn't look good. So I thought I thought of resorting to these star-like structures, which I use a lot in my maps. And I like to use these structures, but I don't exactly know where to put them. At first, I thought of doing this, something like this, but it doesn't look that good, so I scrapped it, and instead I did this. So if this doesn't work, this corner of the map, how about this corner of the structure, right? And I tried to put the stars here, and surprisingly they look pretty good. So yeah, this was the original version of the map. This was the final version, but I wasn't super happy with this version because it just doesn't look that good, right? I didn't really like the placement of these structures, these smaller stars, and I experimented with them a bit, and I found out that I could place it here instead. And surprisingly, it looks pretty complete for me. Unfortunately, the mushrooms won't be used, and actually I thought of replacing some of the diamonds with mushrooms, something like this, to I don't know, add something unique to the design of the map. But I just wanted to keep it simple. Since the map is very simple and kind of empty, I just thought that might as well just keep it simple with diamonds and have a very strict design. And that's about it. The map is very empty. I tried to experiment more by placing structures in this area and the spawns here, where I don't think that's a great idea. And it's the gameplay isn't good. Like, it's very annoying, very frustrating if you get spawn trapped. Like, I believe the enemy team could be here in these areas, and it would be very hard to target them. I It's been a while since I've played Brawl Stars, but I'm pretty sure these areas are very strong. Pero I guess in a way that makes gameplay interesting, because even though the map is very open in this area and outside this circle, it's very hard to get in and outside of it. And I don't know, just that's also very interesting. Hmm. In terms of the name, since I have this moon-like structure and then these stars that accompany it, I wanted a name that's more like based on outer space. So I searched up synonyms in Google, and I searched outer space synonyms, and I found out that cosmos is a synonym that sounds nice. So I just opted with that, and I just named it Cosmos. What else? I think that's about it. Don't think I have anything else to add. I think I'm very happy with how the map turned out. Even though the gameplay isn't that, I don't think the gameplay is that good, and the map is kind of empty. But I'm very like I'm still very proud of what I did. And surprisingly, this took me quite a long time to create, even though it's very simple. It took me like a few hours to do, just for this really simple map that looks like this. So I'm still very happy with the result, and I still submitted it even though I don't think it's winner or qualifier worthy. That's it. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.